In this global crisis and in infrastructure, often public-private partnership is required to have the government working along with the private sector and the nonprofit. Is this the case here?
I think, and I wouldn't call it it's a public-private partnership, I would call it it's a very multidisciplinary approach, because with water, as opposed to some other sectors, it's not one individual or one company or one group of people working together. You really need to work with government, with technology, with engineers, with industrialists, with nonprofits. And that's also led to a lot of the confusion, because you do need a consensus-driven and a more cohesive interdisciplinary approach to solving these problems, which has not existed to date in water, because the politicians have worked in a silo, the private sector has worked in a silo, the engineers have worked in a silo. So now I think we're at a critical juncture, and part of what we hope to achieve is to bring a lot of that together. Not just to make sense of water, but to make sense of water using an interdisciplinary approach, which I think certainly in the career that we've helped build, and I think in private equity, it's very helpful in terms of bringing different constituents together. To give you some examples, I sit on the board of the mayors of the Mississippi River. They themselves create a lot of the education and a lot of the front lines in terms of the deal flow, but politicians are beginning to recognize, wow, I'm not going to have the federal or state funding or the philanthropic funding to make my projects work. I need to look outside the box. And I think you see that across the board in all the various disciplines, even the NGOs, the engineers, the private capital, is that you really need to work together, because this is a problem that we cannot solve individually.